Hey everyone, today we are loading in the rain at the Port of Baltimore. We are hauling a Linkbelt excavator, about 60,000 pounds, across West Virginia and up into Ohio. Today we are headed into the Port of Baltimore. We just got off of 95. So we're going to head into the port. We're picking up a 60,000 pound Linkbelt excavator. It is going over to Wellsville, Ohio, which is northwest of Pittsburgh. So it'll be a fun drive through the mountains. We'll take 68 across and then 79 up 376 around Pittsburgh, and then I think we're gonna have to take 68, which I've never been on, west into Ohio to get to delivery out there. This place is out off of 39 in Ohio, so that'll be an interesting little jaunt. So that's what we're up to today. Yeah, I'm gonna get onto the port here and go get that Linkbelt loaded up. The place to the left is where we're going. Now, we called on Friday when we booked the load and made sure that we had the paperwork we needed, because the broker told us we didn't need a dock receipt, and I was pretty skeptical of that, but we called and they confirmed what we need is a bill of lading with the serial number of the excavator on it. So that's what we have. Let's see. So now we're making a big circle to get to the spot where they want me to break down and load up. now. So I went over and talked to the guys in the shop. They said they will go get it and bring it over to me. I don't know if I'm gonna load it or if they'll load it, but we'll see what happens. All right, so we got this. He brought it out and put us in front of the trailer. So now we're gonna run it up on and get her loaded. I think I will put the camera right where you can see it there. we got her loaded. That looks good. I think we look pretty good there. Got some blocks under it. And I think we'll be able to go. Well, yeah, we'll probably have to go across that. That's okay. That looks pretty good. All right, let's get the truck hooked back up, and then we can get this thing chained down. Let's get it aired up and see what we're doing on weight. Turn our lights on a while anyway. Now we'll get in the truck and put some air to the trailer, and then we'll build air pressure and see what our weights are. This thing's heavy. It's like 60,000 pounds, so I want to make sure I get this right. Just air to the trailer. Now we'll build some air pressure. So we're bringing the RPMs up on the engine to run the compressor faster. That'll build air pressure faster to fill the suspension. And based on what this suspension gauge says, will let me know, that'll let me know roughly how much weight is on the drive axles. This gauge coincides with the drive axles on the truck, and then that gauge we looked at back on the trailer is for the tridem axle on the trailer. So when we get both of those pressures, we will know about what the weight is. I think I still want to weigh this one on the way out. I'll stop at the truck stop on the way out and get a weight, an actual weight on a CAT scale, just to be sure. It also tells us where we need to position the equipment. So I know that if this gauge up here is reading high, and high in this case, West Virginia gives you 45,000 pounds on a tandem. So the drive axles on the truck, I have a spreadsheet where I have weighed stuff before, so we have a rough idea of what weight coincides with what pressure on the gauge. So if we're too heavy on the drives, then we can scoot the excavator towards the back of the trailer. If we're too heavy on the trailer, we can put it back towards the front. So we do have a little bit more room to run it to the back, and I think that's probably what we're going to have to do, because this is showing 75 psi, which I think is a little too heavy. We'll see what the trailer says after I get air pressure built up here. It might be all right. But we'll get it as close as we can without actually scaling it before we chain it down. So I know that West Virginia will give you, so their regs say 50,000 max weight on a tridem and 45,000 max weight on a tandem, but that is for all roads in the state. So we have talked to them before, and they said if you're strictly highway through West Virginia, which is what we'll be doing today, then they will give you more than 50 on a tridem. So we'll take a look at this, and we're at 64. So now I'm gonna call my wife, who does dispatch and permits and everything, and we will decide how heavy we are and whether we need to move it, and then I will show you guys the end result. All right, so we ended up moving the excavator back a little bit to put a little more weight on the trailer tires, but I think we have it set now. We're gonna pull our Maryland permit, and then we will head up to the truck stop, hit the truck stop on the way out, and find our actual weights, and then we'll pull the rest of our permits based on that. So now I'm gonna get it chained down. So these blades always make things interesting trying to chain these down. They have tie down points back in there, but when you run your chain out, you can't come this way because there's no place to hook to get the chain out. And then if you try to go under here, it's jammed up against the cylinder, which I don't like. So that's the best way I found to do it with this one. Just hook here to the structure holding this blade, and then you can come out. It does touch a little there, but it's not going to move or scratch anything. And then that also ties the blade down. So that's what we went with. Now we got to get the back. right, now we need an exhaust cover and banners and flags. So, get that done. All right, we're all loaded up. Just got checked out. Got my gate pass stamped. Fill out this paperwork. That's receiver. I guess I'll sign it up here. All right. Stop there and weigh. That ain't happening. We'll have to hit another weigh station. Or not So I was gonna weigh there at the TA coming out of Baltimore. I guess because it's lunchtime, I got out there and it's just, there are trucks backed up on, I guess that's O'Donnell Street there. The O'Donnell Street cutoff. Trucks just backed up on the road waiting to get in, so I'm not playing with that. We'll have to go to another truck stop with a cat scale and get the actual weight of this. We have our Maryland permit, and we're pretty sure we're heavy by a couple thousand pounds, permitted heavy. So no worries about the scales in Maryland. We gotta hit the truck stop going across Maryland before we pull any other permits, which shouldn't be a big deal. But now we're jumping on 695. Actually, this is 95. And then we'll hit 695, go around Baltimore, and hit 70 westbound, and take that across, and we'll hit probably, I think Hagerstown is probably the closest truck stop, cat scale. I don't think there's one in Frederick. We'll have to see. So that's where we are now. We're headed around 695 around Baltimore, and we'll hit 70. Feels heavy. Alright guys, just got here to Pilot in Hagerstown. We're gonna run across the scale real quick and see what we weigh. But there is a line here. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. That guy is. All right. Yeah, lighter than they said. We're 13,940 on the steer, 40,920 on the drive, and 49,360 on the trailer, for a total gross of 104,220 pounds. So there we go. All right, I'm gonna jump out and make sure that we're still secure, and then we can head on down the road. Oh no, we lost the flag. So let's replace that quick. I don't know how that came off. But there we go. Alright, so RGN can pull our permits for West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. And I think we're going to try to get up to, there's a Hampton Inn near a mall, or right beside a mall, that has a huge parking lot. I think we're going to try to get up there. It's north of Pittsburgh. Try to get there tonight to park, or to stay the night at that hotel. So that is the goal for today. Made it here to the mandatory brake check on I-68 in West Virginia. So let's go check the load. I don't know how they want you to check your brakes here. I always just feel the hubs, make sure they're not overheating, because that's the main concern with brakes as you're going down these mountains, is they get hot and fade, and then you can't stop. But they're all good. I haven't been using the brakes much at all coming down the hills. This Cummins has good Jake brake on it. So if you get the RPMs up, you usually don't even have to use the brakes. So yeah, they all feel cool. I mean, they're slightly warm to the touch, but that's normal. So I think we will put the camera up on top. Get you guys a high vantage point so you can ride along here. And then we'll roll out.
guys. Saw me backing into the hotel. We were at the Hampton Inn tonight. So, try to climb down here without falling. Okay. So anyway, we were at the Hampton Inn tonight, just north of Pittsburgh. So I will go get checked in, and then good thing about this permit is we are 24/7 in Pennsylvania. Alright, so I will get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we will head over to the delivery and get this thing delivered. And then we actually booked another load. It's a drill rig headed down to North Carolina out of Altoona. So once we get this delivered, I'll be heading over to Altoona to pick up the next one. But for now, I'm gonna go in here and take the night off. Well, night off, I'm still away from home, but nice hotel. So I will see you guys in the morning. Morning, everybody. It is 6:25. Good thing about hauling this piece, the permit is 24/7 in Pennsylvania. So we are 26 miles from delivery. We are 14 miles from the state line. Sunrise is 1/4 after. So I think we'll give it another 10 minutes and then we'll take off. We don't want to hit the Ohio state line before sunrise, because the Ohio permit is not 24/7. So, as we were coming across 39 there in East Liverpool, Ohio, we were supposed to take the exit to stay on 39 and 7 going west, but as I came around the corner, the exit was closed. So they had construction cones up, and you couldn't take that exit. So I pulled off right next to it. The problem I have is that we're under a permit, and we're supposed to take the route that they give you. But that route was closed because that exit was closed. So looking at the map, I could go up to the next exit, which is 170, and come across and jump right back onto, I guess it's 30, coming south. And the exit was open for 7 West going southbound. But because we are heavy, we're like 104,000 pounds, I didn't want to go across a bridge without knowing if it was all right. So we just pulled up Ohio's permitting system and ran a route that took us across that bridge with our weight put in, and it gave us the bridge, so I figured we're good. And we're just going to go up to the next exit and then get back on the highway coming south, and then we can take our exit for 7 going west. So just more fun this morning. But that's a little update. We'll add a few miles, but not a big deal.
myself enough room. Pull out from in front of it. All right.
Alright guys, as you can see behind me, that load is all delivered. Got this excavator to the customer. So now we're headed over to I am headed over to Altoona, pick up the next load. Thank you guys for watching this one. Again, please like and subscribe below. I really appreciate all the comments, and I will see you in the next video.